Hi guys, we are going to continue working on the customary system. Today we're going to be talking about using the customary system to measure weight. So the three units we're going to be talking about are ounces, pounds, and tons. Now the smallest unit is an ounce. An ounce weighs about as much as a pencil. So an ounce is very light and it is the smallest unit. The next unit we're going to be talking about is pounds. So a pound is about the weight of a can of soup. There are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So a pound is bigger than an ounce, but it is smaller than a ton. A ton weighs about as much as an elephant. There are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So tons are the largest unit of measurement. Obviously, they weigh a lot. So ounces being the smallest, pounds, and then the largest or the heaviest unit, tons. Here's our conversion table. Again, if you want to write that down, it would be a good idea. It will help you with your assignment later. You can always pause this video if you need more time to write something down. All right, let's look at ounces some more. So an ounce is the smallest unit of weight for the customary system. An ounce is about the weight of a slice of bread. So again, it is very light. Things measured in ounces. So soda. If you ever go to a gas station or maybe a fast food restaurant and you get fountain soda, they'll usually come in like a 32-ounce cup or a 12-ounce cup. Same with juice. Liquid cleaners, so like laundry detergent or dish soap, a lot of the times will be measured in ounces, and meat is sometimes measured in ounces. So again, an ounce is the smallest unit of weight. It weighs about as much as a slice of bread. The next unit of measurement, pounds. There are 16 ounces in 1 pound, so a pound is bigger than an ounce. A pound is about the weight of a soccer ball. Things measured in pounds. People. So when you go to the doctor and they take your weight, they will tell you how much you weigh in pounds. Same with animals. Meat is mostly measured in pounds. When you go to buy it from the grocery store or the locker, you will pay a certain amount per pound. Also, if you're following a recipe, a lot of the times it will say add 1 pound of hamburger or add 1 pound of chicken. So often meat is measured in pounds. Same with produce. If you go and you buy fresh fruit or fresh vegetables, you will pay so much per pound. For example, $4.99 per pound of apples. So you are paying a certain amount for each pound. And the largest and last unit we're going to talk about is a ton. So there are 2,000 pounds in a ton. A ton is quite a bit bigger than a pound. It is the heaviest unit of weight for the customary system. A ton would be about the weight of a car. So again, super, super heavy. Things measured in tons, vehicles, semi-trucks, cargo boxes. If you remember in social studies when we talked about shipping ports, we kind of talked about cargo boxes and how they're full of things and they're very heavy. And large animals like an elephant, we talked about weighing about as much as a ton. Sometimes when you're driving, you'll see these signs like weight limit 4 tons. Those are for those big trucks and semis to protect the roads. So those are some things we measure with tons. Remember, it's the heaviest unit and that there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So those are the 3 units: ounces, pounds, tons. Now we are going to talk about conversions. I just want to say that conversions are really hard to learn. They take a while to understand, so don't feel frustrated if you're not getting them right away. I know it's extra hard because we're not in our classroom too, so just keep in mind that we're going to be talking about conversions all week. So don't feel frustrated or give up. And if you need extra help, make sure you let mom or dad know, and they can let me know, and I will surely get you some extra videos and some extra practice with it. The most important thing to remember about conversions, and I should have said this right away yesterday, is that if you are going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, you always multiply. And if you're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, you divide. And that goes for any sort of conversion you are doing, whether you are converting weight, whether you are converting length, whether you are converting capacity. That will be your rule. And if you can memorize that rule, it will make conversions so easy for you. So we have our table here. We have ounces and pounds. So we know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So the first question I'm going to ask myself when I go to solve this next one is if I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a bigger unit. I know that an ounce is smaller than a pound, so I'm going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. So I need to divide. I am going to divide the amount of ounces by the amount of ounces per pound. So I am going to take 32 divided by 16. I know that 32 divided by 16 is 2. Now I need to figure out how many ounces are in 5 pounds. So again, the first thing you're going to do is ask yourself whether you're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a bigger unit. Well, I know that I am going, or I know that a pound is bigger than an ounce. So I know that I am going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. So I am going to have to multiply. Again, bigger unit to a smaller unit, you're going to have to multiply. So I am going to multiply 5 times the amount of ounces in each pound. So I know that there are 16 ounces in each pound, so I'm going to take 5 times 16. I know that 5 times 10 is 50, and 5 times 6 is 30, and 50 plus 30 is going to give me 80. All right, let's look at our chart over here. Pounds and tons. I know that there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So I need to figure out how many tons are equal to 6,000 pounds. So first question I'm going to ask myself is if I'm going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit or a bigger unit to a smaller unit. For this problem, I'm going from a smaller unit, pounds, to a bigger unit, tons, because I know that pounds are smaller than tons. I'm going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. That tells me that I need to divide. So I'm going to divide the amount of pounds I have by the amount of pounds per ton. So I'm going to take 6,000 divided by 2,000. I know that 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then I just need to add my zeros. For this next one, they give me the amount of tons, and I have to figure out how many pounds that is. So again, first question I'm going to ask myself, am I going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, or a smaller unit to a bigger unit? Well, I know that a ton weighs more than a pound, so I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. So I'm going to have to multiply. I am going to multiply the amount of tons I have times the amount of pounds per ton. So I'm going to take 4 times 2,000. I know that 4 times 2 is 8, and then I just need to add my zeros. All right, so there are our tables. Again, most important question to ask yourself or to see is if you are going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a bigger unit. and that is going to tell you whether you multiply or divide. So now we're going to work through these problems over here. Our first one is 98 pounds equals how many ounces? If you can see over here, I have my conversions. 16 ounces equals 1 pound. 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. I've also gotten, if you're going from a bigger number to a smaller number, you multiply. If you're going from a smaller number to a bigger number, you divide. So this would be a really good thing, again, to write down. It will help you with your conversions. All right, first question. Am I going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a bigger unit? I know that a pound is bigger than an ounce. So I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, which means I am going to multiply. So I am going to multiply the amount of pounds I have, 98, times the amount of pounds per ounce. There are 16 ounces per pound, so I'm going to take 98 times 16. I'm also going to review two-digit multiplication because it's been a while. I'm going to solve this one using the standard algorithm. I know that 8 times 6 is 48, so I'm going to put my 8 there and carry over my 4. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 4 more is going to give me 58. Done there and there. Drop my 0. 1 times 8 gives me 8. 1 times 9. And I'm going to add. And I get 1,568. So 98 pounds equals 1,568 ounces. All right, on to the next one. Again, if you can memorize this right here, it will make conversions so much easier for you. All right, 5 tons equals how many pounds? 5 tons equals how many pounds? So, again, the first thing you're going to ask yourself is if you're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a bigger unit. Well, I know that a ton is a lot more than a pound. So I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, so I am going to multiply. I am going to multiply my 5, the amount of tons I have, times the amount of pounds per ton. So I know that there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton, so I'm going to take 5 times 2,000. Again, I knew that I was going to multiply because I was going from a bigger unit, tons, to a smaller unit, pounds. I know that 5 times 2 is 10, and then I just need to add my zeros. So 5 tons equals 10,000 pounds. All right, on to our next one. 7 pounds equals how many ounces? All right, you guys know it. The first question I'm going to ask myself, am I going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a bigger unit? Well, in this problem, I know that a pound is bigger than an ounce. So I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. So I am going to multiply. I'm going to multiply the amount of pounds I have by the amount of ounces per pound. So I need to take 7 times 16. I know that 7 times 10 is 70. And I know that 7 times 6 is 32. 70 plus 32 is going to give me 112. I can solve that mentally using the distributive property. So 7 pounds equals 112 ounces. All right. So now we have 64 ounces equals how many pounds? Okay, so first question I'm asking myself, am I going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a bigger unit? In this problem, I know that an ounce is smaller than a pound, so I am going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. So I know that I'm going to have to divide. I'm going to divide the amount of ounces I have, 64, by the amount of ounces per pound. So if I have 64 ounces, I'm going to divide that by 16 ounces. And I know that 64 divided by 16 is 4. 4 groups of 16 fit into 64. So 64 ounces equals 4 pounds. Again, so important to remember this. All right, last one. We have 21 pounds equals how many ounces? You guys got it. I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit because I know that a pound is bigger than an ounce. So I'm going to multiply. And I'm going to multiply the amount of pounds I have times the amount of ounces per pound. So I'm going to have 21 times 16. I'm going to use the the expanded algorithm to solve this. Again, to review multiplication. So, multiply my ones. 6 times 1 is 6. Drop my 0. 6 times 2 is 12. Drop my 0. 1 times 1 is 1. Drop my 2 zeros. 2 times 1 is 2. And I kind of ran out of space here, so I'm just going to add these over here. So we have 6, 3, 3. So 21 pounds equals 336 ounces. All right, again, if you want to pause it and write these two things down on your piece of paper or a Post-it note or something to help you with your assignment. When you're going from a bigger number to a smaller number, you have to multiply. When you're going, unit. When you're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. And when you're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, you have to divide. That will help you to understand what you need to do to make the correct conversion. Just going to go over your assignment really quick and then I'll let you go. There are no tons on your assignment, so it's just ounces and pounds. Remember, when you're filling out your table, you need to first ask yourself whether you're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a bigger unit. Here is all conversions. Here they just want you to break it up. So 3 pounds, 3 ounces. That one's already solved. So 3 pounds, 3 ounces, and they want the answer in all ounces. I know that 3 pounds is going to give me how many ounces? Well, 3 times 16 is going to give me 48. I have a 48. So there's my 48 ounces plus my 3 ounces. I don't need to change that. So we're just breaking it up. And I know that 48 plus 3 is 51. So you're just breaking it up. And then you have some more conversions. So again, make sure that you write these two things down to help you with your assignment. If you have any questions, let mom or dad know and they can help you or I can help you. And that's all for today. So have fun with your assignment.